Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a process video for a layout using my October Wild Hare Kit, and I had a unboxing video on my YouTube channel that I will link to at the bottom, showing all the wonderful little goodies that I received in this kit. For this project today, I am actually using a sketch that I included at the beginning of this video for you to see. Every month, we try to have a sketch either designed by our guest designer, which is the case this month, or one of our design team members themselves. So be on the lookout for sketches about once a month to come out and to participate in some of the fun challenges that we issue with those. So anyway, I'm just getting started here by cutting 2 triangles out of paper that I received. There is the sketch. And that blue paper and the paper that my trimmer is actually on are part of my stash. And that is because this month we got the petite kits as design team members. And so it was really fun to add elements of our stash into the projects. And I love me some wood grain paper. So the wood grain came in my kit as one of the backgrounds, or the neutral backgrounds rather, that I requested in my style profile this month. And the pink paper, that triangle off to the side, or now that's going to be laid on my page, that is part of the 6x6 paper pad from Turn the Page, which is Paige Evans' new collection. And I really, really like the design that was done this month. So those acetate words are Heidi Swap, and there are black and white single words in that package. And I found the word happy and really thought it was going to be a perfect size to span across the triangle and to be part of my title. So this is a picture of my not so little girl anymore. She's 14, and she received some mail just before starting her 8th grade year of middle school. And it was signed the Back to School Fairy. So it was really fun. We came home from the cottage, and in the mail, unbeknownst to her, was a little package full of yummy little treats to get her through her first week of school, which was really fun. So she thought it was quite interesting because to this day, I don't think she knows who the actual Back to School Fairy is. And I will be honest, it's not me. So this layout is just documenting that fun little time in her life when little things like that were still, or are still, quite magical. So I'm just taking that wood grain, as you can see, and I cut it in half, and I'm laying across the top, because if you remember in the sketch, there was an element up at the top, a thin border, and then what you could tell was another paper. And so it really looked like there were 3 background papers layered. And I wanted to replicate that. I liked that part of the design. And I'm really bummed because I don't realize it as I'm actually making the layout, but I never get my picture and my triangles the way I had originally done it. And that bummed me out because I really liked the way I first did it. But again, it's only because I'm going back now and narrating it that I see that it's different, because I really don't think it's that noticeable. But here, what I did was, this is an old piece of paper from my stash that I tried cutting on my silhouette. That's from SEI from a long time ago. And I'm using it for that middle strip to kind of connect the top portion. I don't know if you guys saw that little ant has joined me for my cropping party. To join the top wood portion with that lower grain distressed text paper. And so I just took my Stampin' Up! Scallop punch, and I'm going to place that between the two papers. Also off camera, I pulled some dies. I believe they're Sizzix dies, and I have, it's a big alphabet. And so I just pulled the letters to spell mail, and I'm going to cut that word out from that same teal paper that I just did the scalloped border from. So I don't know if you saw, but I just cut a little piece. And so right now my title's going to read Happy Mail. And I'm going to take a little bit more time than I normally would lining my letters on my piece of paper. And it's really because I couldn't decide if I wanted to use the negative space for my title or the actual little letters as they were intended to be used as cutouts. So I thought, let me see if I have the space height-wise for the letters. And I end up not doing that. I end up just using the letters as they are. So I grab my Big Shot, my well-loved Big Shot. Those plates are horrible. I have new ones, but I don't know why. I just always go back to my old ones. So excuse the shaking, but if you have a Big Shot, you know. Excuse me, I'm just cutting out the word mail. And again, that is the same paper that the scalloped border is from. And I'm going to take my craft knife and just poke the little letters out. And I believe I'm watching YouTube videos. I think at this point I'm watching Kat Martin or Missy Whidden. So I'm in the zone. I'm doing my thing. So I've punched the letters out, obviously, to spell the word mail. And see, all those are on that magnetic little board that you can store in one of those little plastic acrylic boxes. Or not acrylic boxes, just plastic boxes. But that's magnetic, and it's a really perfect storage element, especially for all those little dies. Saves a lot of time having to look through and try to find the letters. So now I realize I really want my title to span the whole bottom of that pink triangle. And so I thought mail call worked, and then the word happy. So it was a happy mail call. And that is what the journaling is going to talk about, just how fun it was coming back from the cottage right before school was starting and having something special and unexpected in the mail. And so I'm kind of cleaning up as I go. And I am going to start gluing things down. And I realized I was going to, that I want to do stitching. So rather than using my ATG, I decided to use my Scotch tacky glue that is in a fine line bottle. Because I can still secure it down with that glue without making such a mess that it will gum up my needle. So I'm going to glue that down, and I think in a second you're actually going to see me bring my sewing machine over. But first, I can't tell if there is that plastic coating on this word happy. So I'm fidgeting and realize that it's probably not, but if it is, it's not coming off. So I abandoned that. Excuse me. And so now I think I'm getting my sewing machine. Yep, my big old monster of a sewing machine. And I am just going to stitch one line across this teal. And then you'll see me stitch just around the borders of the triangles. And that made it just simple and just added a little bit of detail. So here I'm just finishing up stitching those triangles, and now I am ruffling up that border just to give it a little bit of dimension. It was so flat, and I wanted to give it a little bit of height. So I just pulled the strings through to the back, secured it with washi tape, and I am just trimming the little strings. And if you pull your first or the back string, it'll make a little loop and it allows you to pull the front string through. And so again, just securing it with washi tape, and now I'm trying to figure out where I want that to land. And it's pretty close to what I had before. I think the pink is a little farther up, closer to the top, but that's okay. So I was going to ink the edges of all the letters, and then I decided not to. And as you can see, I have a little friend. Not happy about that. But let me just say there were no animals harmed in the making of this video. Now I can't say what happened to him afterwards, but at least not during the making of the video. So here I am just using my tweezers. Those are the, oh gosh, something B, I forget the brand, but they're really nice. They're the kind that stay squeezed until you pinch them and then they open up. So kind of opposite as to what we're used to. But that's really nice because it helps hold something like those letters while you are gluing them down. So I'm just using my Scotch tacky for everything, and I don't have a problem. I know there's some people that said they have a problem with it absorbing into the fun foam and then not holding on to the item that, you know, they're trying to adhere, but I don't have a problem with it. So I use it on everything. So I am just lining it all up on the same line, the words mail and call. And those tweezers and that little fine tip nozzle make work like this very easy. And I'm doing my last letter. And I know you can probably see it a little bit, but that background paper has little typed words of encouragement all across the bottom, and it's worn in areas, but it makes it easy to line letters up because you can just follow the text. So here I'm using my T-square ruler and just a pencil to make some lines where I'm going to do my journaling. And oh good heavens, you will have to excuse my hair. I had just gotten out of the tub and I had washed my face and had moisturizer on it, and so I had to keep my hair out of my way. So, oh good grief, I had no idea that was in there. Okay, moving along. So I'm just writing the journaling basically about what I had said before about how we had come home from the cottage from summer and you had received this piece of mail. It was a little package and it was from the back to school fairy. And so I'm just taking my precision pen from American Crafts. I believe I wrote it, I want to say I wrote it in a 0.3. Because I didn't want it too dark. I have the 1, the 3, the 5, the 8, and I know it wasn't the 8, but it could have been the 5. And then I just underlined it with the same black pen. So here I'm taking that Uniball white gel pen, and I kind of wanted it to mirror the happy with the white. So I just did inside the letters, I just traced it with my Uniball gel pen. And you saw me at the beginning, I had done a little bit on my finger. That's a really good way to get it going again. Just the warmth of your finger, if your pen doesn't start writing right away, that really helps. So you saw that I held up my Heidi Swapp Color Shine in blush. And the sketch called for some little bits of ink and messiness, and so this is what I chose as my interpretation, which is pretty literal of the example, but I like it. I think it adds some depth and kind of makes your eye travel all around the paper. And I wasn't brave enough to use the hot pink from Heidi Swap. I think if I had had some water close by where I could have diluted it a little bit, I may have, but instead I opted for shimmers, the Vibes Ginny B Blue, and just sprinkled that all around in the same 3 areas that I had done the blush. I protected my picture because I did print it home on my Epson Picture-Mate charm. And as you know, that paper is very unforgiving when you have anything that gets on it. So I like to protect my pictures by just throwing something quick over it. Wiped it off, wiped everything off. And these little enamel, they're dots. They call them enamel dots, but there are 3 different shapes in the package. These are from Chamel's Little by Little collection, and there are triangles, stars, and circles. And they come in what I believe is either a super duper navy that almost comes across as black, or it could be black. That blue, like a really nice navy blue, that aqua, pink, and then a gold glitter. And so for this layout, I'm just using the 3 colors that you see me grabbing, which is the pink, the teal, and the navy. And I'm going to put them in 3 spots. And after I do, I'm going to continue this layout the next day. I realized that while it was going fast, it was still past my bedtime. And when I come back the next day, I decided to take the little triangles that you're seeing me put down right now, and remove those. And it's because I have a different idea that I want to go with. So as you can see, I've removed those. I have them off to the side there on the right, and they are going to make it back on the page, just not in that place. So I grabbed some of things from my stash, the chipboard elements from the Cute Girl and the sticker sheet from Crate Paper's Cute Girl. And I grabbed all the houses that were on those 2 sheets. And so the chipboard, if you have them, they're rather thick, and so they give a nice pop of dimension. And then the sticker sheets are just that. They're a flat sticker. And so I was grouping the houses because I thought a little neighborhood, it went well with the mail idea. And I wanted to give, it needed a little something I didn't want to bring in a lot more color, because the colors that are represented in that plus piece of pattern paper, that darker blue triangle, that is from Echo Park. And the colors were all just so perfectly matched with everything. So I thought this would be the perfect way to just add a little bit more without adding more. The little green house off to the right was a sticker, and I put a little bit of fun foam behind it just to give it a little bit of lift. And then now I'm bringing those 3 arrows that I had up by the picture, and I'm going to point them towards the sticker where I'm going to rewrite my date. I just took that little sticker and covered up the date that I hand wrote on there, and I will redo it. But in the meantime, I have those little arrows pointing to it. I'm going to take the little stars in the exact same matching colors that I used for the little triangles, and I am just going to place them in little groupings there with my little houses. The left side gave me just a little bit of fuss. I don't like it when the elements line up, so when they were too close to each other, or when they were farther apart, they were still on the same line, and that drove me crazy. So I needed to fix that, and I did. So I just held it up to make sure everything was on, and I realized now it is time to get that happy sticker, or happy acetate piece rather, stuck down. And this is how I'm opting to do it. I'm so excited. It's my first time using it. I had my Xyron machine that, I think it was the 9x11 or 9 by something, a million years ago, and I still have it. But I actually won this one at a crop, and I thought it was perfect. I just needed to put the lid on correctly. And so if you have one of these, you know how awesome they are. This is the perfect solution for making acetate pieces sticky when you don't want to staple them down. You just run it through, and that's the little blade that just cuts it off. And you're going to see me, I'm trying to show you that it is in there. But I'm just going around and rubbing all the adhesive to make sure that it is sticking to the acetate piece itself, and to make sure that all the little webby parts that are in some of the openings adhere to that cutout actually. And so it was very easy to do. You saw me, very quick. And now that whole piece has adhesive on it, and you don't see it because the whole thing is covered, so nothing stands out as being shadowed or goopy. It's just all one smooth, sticky piece of happiness. So there I put my date. I'm holding it up to give it one last look, and I'm gonna do a drive-by here quickly, just showing you that sweet little face. And there you can see how I just outlined, that's that white gel pen in there. Whew, I'm going fast. Showing you some of the sprinkles. So stick around for the still photos, and if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.